Good morning, Uday and Bhargav. Today is Friday, the 22nd of December, and our production to our clients consisted of a total of 78 issues. I'll be briefing you on the major developments of today's production.
Mithma, thank you. Can we please move on to the major issues today?
Of course. In the East Asia Pacific, we covered a total of 50 issues. I'll be covering the top two of these 50 developments. In Indonesia, the National Police Traffic Corps will implement traffic measures ahead of the Christmas and New Year holidays. Security posts have been established on key routes, and the police predict the homecoming traffic to be at its most heightened around the Christmas and New Year holidays. The operation, which involves 129,923 personnel, will approximately last 2 weeks. We covered this as our major development in the Southeast Asia Pacific Roundup today.
Thanks. Yeah, this comes amidst all the extra security measures also. Let's tell the team to keep a close eye over the break in case of any major incidents. But at this point, it's not looking like there's anything major. Thanks.
Sure, Uday, we'll keep monitoring that. In Myanmar, unions and civil society groups have filed a complaint to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. This is against the Italian steel company Danieli for its ties to the Myanmarese military. Earlier in June, a European advocacy group had accused the company of having close ties to the military and urged the company to disclose the extent of its ties. However, later reports suggest that the trade between both entities extended into weapons manufacturing as well. So the company has been accused of recommissioning a steel mill in Mandalay's Mingyan township.
Right, this is interesting and points to the continued risks of operating in Myanmar, especially with the military government. It'll be interesting to see how the OECD looks at this case, considering that it does seem that sanctions have been violated, but in the past, companies have gotten around it. So let's see how this develops. Thanks for bringing it up.
Of course, Uday. So moving on to South Asia, we covered a total of 18 developments. I'm covering the top three developments of today. In India, authorities in Jharkhand have raised a high alert status across the state amidst calls for a shutdown strike by Maoist insurgent groups today. Earlier, railway tracks along the Howrah-Mumbai route in West Singhbhum, Jharkhand, were damaged by Maoists, and this caused disruptions to rail travel. Similarly, a shutdown strike has been announced by Maoists across their strongholds in Chhattisgarh today. This follows the killings of 5 Maoists by paramilitary forces on December 20th. We covered this as the major development in the South Asia Roundup today.
All right, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand continue to be the hotspot for Maoist violence, and now they're taking it mainstream. Jharkhand had the situation under control to some extent, as opposed to Chhattisgarh, especially around Sukma region. That doesn't seem to be the case. They are spreading their wings. Please watch out for the reaction by the state governments as well as the paramilitary forces. Expect a harsher crackdown if it does expand to other regions. Jharkhand specifically is an important state for industries in resource as well as mining sectors. Jamshedpur specifically has got a large industrial complex focused on steel production. So let's monitor the situation on the ground, please. Thank you.
Of course, Bhargav. Also in India, the National Investigative Agency arrested 15 members of the Maharashtra module of the Islamic State. They also foiled a plot to attack Mumbai by using drones. During the raid conducted on December 9th, the NIA seized over 81,680 US dollars of unaccounted cash, flags of Hamas, firearms, sharp-edged weapons, incriminating documents, and digital devices. The accused had declared the village, which is known as Borivali Pagda village in the Than district in Maharashtra, as a liberated zone. And they were administering oaths to the youth to pledge allegiance to the IS and motivating them to relocate to the village.
Yes, such crackdowns are very much necessary, and NIA has stepped up and has been proactive. But the fact that such activities were going on and NIA has raided only recently also raises questions about more such activities and in different areas. So let's monitor the situation and focus on NIA's operations in and around major cities. If they slip up, there will be a major impact on the major cities as well. We have seen that happen in 2611, and the government would be better advised to avoid such a situation.
Yes, that is true, Bhargav. Thank you for bringing that up. And moving on to Pakistan, a police report yesterday revealed a significant rise in terror incidents in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa this year. This is compared to previous years, and according to this report, the province reported a total of 572 terror incidents. The Dera Ismail Khan had the highest number of terror incidents this year with 87 reported cases. This was followed by the North Waziristan district with 79 and Khyber with 72, as well as the Tank district with 53 incidents.
Thanks, Mitma. Yeah, there has been a general rise in terrorism in Pakistan this year. This has been attributed to the increasing tensions between Afghanistan and Pakistan, the fact that Afghanistan still remains a launchpad for terror groups in the region, and Pakistan's uncoordinated anti-terrorism strategy, given all the political strife that has been going on in the country. Bhargav, do you have anything to add?
Yes, so Pakistan, like India, has a habit of accusing the neighbors for its own troubles. And in this specific case, Pakistani army and the security establishment did commit a few mischiefs, especially when they supported Taliban in the neighboring Afghanistan. And TTP can practically be looked at as an offshoot or a brotherly organization to the Taliban itself. So when they were supporting Taliban, they were not really concerned about TTP in their own backyard. Although there was an operation between 2007 and 2011 or 12 called Zarb-e-Azb to root out the Taliban leadership in their own tribal areas. They did not realize the kind of impact it would have on their own population, especially in Khyber province. Pakistan has actually seen widespread recruitment in major cities or suburbs of major cities like Karachi as well. There seems to be a lack of foresight and a long-term planning on how to tackle this scenario, and it also brings to question the strategic operations undertaken by security establishment. I mean, what were they thinking when they supported a non-state militant organization like Taliban and their offshoots in their own backyard, just to ensure that their neighboring Afghanistan had a government favorable to them? So there are a lot of long-term and short-term consequences which we are seeing as a result of such a strategic move. And this is not something which is under the wraps. The former president Pervez Musharraf has openly admitted their support to Taliban in the 90s, and there are several other top leadership who have openly expressed support to Taliban. So this is a direct consequence of that.
Yes, thank you so much for those insights, Uday and Bhargav. Now we'll be moving on to the EMEA region, where we covered a total of 8 issues. I'll be talking about the top 2 of these 8 developments. In the Czech Republic, at least 14 people were killed and 25 others were injured in a mass shooting at the Charles University in the capital, Prague, yesterday. Prior to the shooting, the police were alerted that the shooter would take his own life at the university. Police were called to the faculty's larger main building where the shooting was taking place. Interior Minister Vit Rakusan said the shooting had no connection to international terrorism. However, the government has declared a day of mourning for tomorrow. We conveyed this to our clients via an advisory message today.
Thanks, Mitma. Yeah, sorry, I was just
Thanks, Mitma. Nothing further from my end.
Of course. So moving on to Guinea, Protests against the shortage of fuel turned violent in Conakry yesterday. Clashes broke out when police used tear gas to disperse protesters who had barricaded Le Prince Road. Demonstrators hurled stones at law enforcement officers, and the protests were largely concentrated in the Transvaal Number 5 and the Kosa Bambeto neighborhoods. Guinea is currently experiencing a fuel supply shortages following the December 17th explosion. This was at the Kaloum fuel deposit in Conakry. Around 23 people have died and 241 have been injured due to the explosion.
Thank you.
Do you have any further comments on our developments today, Bhargav Uday?
No, Mithwa, thank you very much.
Thanks,
So
Mithwa.
I need to underline that we will be phasing out the daily audios and we'll be focusing on critical issues affecting our client footprint from the next year onwards. And I would also like to take this opportunity to wish every user a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today, Uday and Bhargav.